All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Average Joe's. Guess what? Today we're taking on fried versus smoked. It's the battle of the turkeys, and we're gonna bite into it. Let's go. That's good. Okay, we've got the two birds. One's about 14 pounds, one's about 15 pounds. I did end up brining these for about 12 hours. Check out the link in the description for the brine recipe and go ahead and use that. Again, adjust it as you want for whatever flavors you want. There's a lot of recipes out there. So what we're gonna do first is we're going to rub these turkeys, and we're gonna use a homemade rub. It's actually a friend of ours gave us this rub, and I added some more garlic and tahini and garlic powder and pepper and a little onion powder. So we're gonna go ahead and put a bird in there, get some of the oil on it, and then rub it. So number one, little guy going in. Got the olive oil in there. I'm gonna kind of roll them around a little bit. Get them coated. Now I put this in a separate cup just because I didn't want to get everything all contaminated once I started, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit it. Get pretty generous. Oh, really important, remember, before you do this, I'm sorry I didn't say, make sure you get the bird good and dried out. As dry as you can, just pat dried. Let it air dry, let these sit for a couple hours, and just really get good and dried out. One more hit on the breast skin. And this guy is good to go. So we're gonna let that sit while we're gonna do the other bird, but we're gonna let those birds sit for a few minutes. It's only gonna take probably 20 minutes to get the fryer started and to get the smoker started. But by then, this should have plenty of time to dry out, which will give us a good crisp skin. So we'll see you back in a few minutes. Okay, we've got them rubbed. Now we're gonna go ahead and inject them. So I made this my own homemade injectable marinade. The stuff you buy at the store is great. I've used it for years and years, but I thought I'd try my own this year. Recipe's linked in the description, check it out. You can always change the ingredients if you want to, but we're gonna try this year. It's mostly butter, garlic, oil. It smells amazing. And so when you inject, I think you guys, I mean, if you've done it before, you know, what we're gonna do is just try to get it into the meat, right? Don't go through the meat, and kind of push it in there. A little bit there, without taking it and stabbing it a whole bunch of times. Just kind of change the needle around. Get it in different parts of the meat, but you can kind of keep your injection point the same and just kind of load that baby up. Again, we're doing both of these the exact same because I want to see if we inject it and brine it the same way, if it tastes different or better, frying versus smoking. Get a couple spots. We're gonna do this in the thigh, we're gonna do it in the leg, we'll even do it in the wings. Just wanna load it up. And you'll see, you know when it's good and ready because it's gonna start coming out at different points. That's when you're good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and get these guys injected. After they're injected, I'm gonna spatchcock this one that's going on the smoker, and then we're ready to go. All right, so we've got these guys rubbed, injected. We're gonna actually spatchcock this one, so we're gonna cut the spine out so that we can open it up on the smoker. So I started with the shears and it was tough going. So I got the old Ginsu knife, cuts through aluminum cans and can cut through a bird. It's working like a charm, like butter. There we go. Okay, we're gonna let this sit for a few minutes while we get the smoker and the fryer going, and then we're ready to go. Okay, so we're ready to put this guy on the smoker. It's been resting for about 30 minutes while everything got up to heat. We're gonna hit it about 200, give it a lot of smoke, and then turn it up to 225 and just let it sit for a few hours until it reaches about 165 in the thigh. Then we're gonna pull it off. So here we go. So here we go. We're gonna drop this guy in the fryer basket, take the basket out to the fryer, and drop it in. The temperature is about 375. As soon as we put this in, that oil temperature is gonna drop well below 350, but it'll come back up. We wanna keep it around 350. So here she goes, in the basket. Get it situated. All right, so we got our oil temp up to 375. We're gonna go ahead and drop the bird in. All right, so we're just gonna check the temperature. It's been a couple hours, probably closer to 2.5 hours. Check the temperature, see where it's at, and then regardless, we'll put another mop on it and see if we need to leave it a little bit longer. It's looking good. All right, so we're about temperature in the thigh. A little low on the breast. So we're gonna leave this a little while longer, but we're gonna go ahead and mop it while we're in here. All right, so we got this guy out of the fryer. She's about 170, 175 degrees, so it got hot. We're gonna let this rest, room temperature for a while, till it's cool enough to handle, and then we'll carve it and take a look at it and taste it. Okay, so here's the bird out of the fryer. It's cooled down. We can handle it. Got my hands washed, ready to go. We're gonna carve this bird up. First, it's nice to note that the legs and thighs really just kind of pull right off just because it's so tender and juicy. So those are nice, super easy. If you love dark meat, that's gonna be delicious. Look at that, looks fantastic. Here it is, the breast, which is usually, you know, one of the more challenging cuts or pieces to get tender. We're gonna give it a shot, see how it tastes. Now it looks really juicy, still pretty hot, very tender, falling apart. Super moist, good flavor from the injection. This is a winner. Now let's see how that smoke chicken comes out. Oh, let's do it up. She's looking good. Getting about 170 in the thigh. Okay, so about 5.5 hours. We're pulled the bird off the smoker. Temperature is 160 to 165, depending on where you take it. Now we're just gonna carve it up and see how it looks. So it looks super juicy, tender. Let's give it a shot. Delicious. Okay, so it's smoked versus fried. I think there's pros and cons to each. Obviously, frying happens much quicker. It happened within an hour. This took 5.5 hours. The prep for both took the same amount of time, obviously, because I wanted to keep it the same. I think the outcome is different, but not bad. So I think the smoked turkey is actually a little bit juicier, and I think it's bringing out a little bit more flavor. The fried turkey, while delicious, has a little less of that flavor that we injected in and brined in. Truth be told, I think I might have left this in a little too long. It went a little bit longer in the fryer than I'd hoped, but all things equal, I think the smoked turkey this time wins. So I've been frying turkeys for 25 years and I love it, and I'll keep doing it, but I'm gonna get better at this and keep doing this side by side. I think we can get them equal, but today the smoked turkey takes the cake. Sometimes average is good enough.